Hi there, and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved, where you probably have a lot of questions, and we're going to answer them today. First one, what the hell's happened to that turtle? Answer, we're trying to tame him. He's currently unconscious and dying, but we fed him berries, so he's got to be our best mate. Number two, this is a very saddening thing. You're probably thinking, where's Dawood? He's really handsome and I love him. Now, yesterday, while we were grinding off camera, getting all the boring stuff like stone and wood and metal, Dawood was ambushed by an alpha raptor and gave his life to defend me and all, who escaped and kept our stuff. So we had to have a minute's silence for Dawood. I'm just kidding, I can't be bothered. So I chopped him up into pieces and he's now in my inventory, so we can remember him by that. After that 5 years had passed, the man finally woke up, and I used my creative brain to call him Digby, because he's a guy on the football team who's really good at headering because he's got a massive neck, and so does this guy. As you can tell, I should be an author, I'm not creative. Anyway, I stuffed his inventory full of berries so he wouldn't starve, and swam back to shore with all to celebrate, but he seemed more interested in his own reflection. Been there. Digby was getting a bit lonely at home base, so instead of giving my precious time to be his company and friend, I decided to go force another poor creature into being his mate for life. This guy ran at me, trying to kill me, so I taught him a lesson by throwing a bowler, wrapping him, he couldn't move now, going up behind him and smacking him in the bum about 30 times until he eventually became unconscious. Kinda feel bad for him. I spotted this guy out the corner of my eye, and he could fly, and that was cool, so I decided to make him my friend. I smacked him over and over again, right in the bum. He kind of sat there. I think he was a bit annoyed. He was just looking at me, like, disapprovingly, whilst I knocked him out. I really felt bad for this guy, because his wing got trapped in a tree, and his head was in a bush. I got a little bit emotional after realising I accidentally fed Dawood to one of the birds, so I went and did his favourite thing, killing everything I saw. It just arrow right to the head, dead, and then harvesting it. And this made me emotional remembering Dawood and everything he had killed in his lifetime. Oh, and then I saw this guy, and I liked the way he was looking at me, so I wrapped him up and made him my friend. I spotted this really nice looking parasaur and decided that he would be mine. So I did the usual. Came up to him, threw a ball around his legs, harnessed my inner Jake Paul, and smacked him in the thigh a few times, until eventually he got knocked out. Then found the nearest purple berries from a bush, stuck them in his inventory, and force-fed them to him. Then I found this guy, and don't ask how, but I got stuck in his wing. I was jumping on him to feed him some more food, and I was totally trapped. And as you can tell, all in his raptor were very concerned, as they stood there laughing at me. It was a very sad day. I mean, especially for the guy, who was just minding his own business, but I nicked him, trapped him, took him away from his family, and just watched as he sat there on the ground as I force-fed him meat and was now stamping on his wing. I decided to name the parasaur Gareth Southgate because this guy's good at farming berries, and Gareth Southgate is good at farming children from youth academies. But sadly, it was too many characters, so I decided to call him the Yorkshire version, Gareth Southie. And then my Pteranodon tamed right next to him, but he was only like a level 5 or so I decided to call him Crappy Flappy, because that's literally what he is. And then I decided to tame this guy for 3 reasons. 1, he is really cool looking, just look at his colours, that's sick. Number 2, he kind of reminded me of Dawood, because he's a smaller version. And number 3, when you pat him, you get like an XP boost, and it's sick. So I decided to name him Victoria, because I don't know why. Don't question me. After I asked all the dinosaurs really nicely to be my friend, I took them all back to base to find a very hungry, very thirsty, and very pissed off Digby. But we were going to be alright, because as soon as I fed him his favourite food, literally any type of berry that I could find in the nearest berry bush to me that required the least effort, that was his favourite food. Okay, I don't know, I don't care about these dinosaurs. Gareth Selfie, I told him to stop, and I was trying to tell Crappy Flappy to stop, but he was too high in the air, because his man was being difficult. And I was also starving at the same time, and I was getting very irritated. I went to go harvest some berries, and ended up in his inventory because his wing got in my face. Yeah, I was considering killing Crappy Flappy at this point, shooting with an arrow, especially when it happened again, and I was still starving. But I felt better when I had a full stomach of berries that looked like testicles. Anyway, I went back to the lads and whistled them all to stop, but Crappy Flappy, when you whistle him to stop, literally flies about 5 meters away, and then stops. Don't ask why. Just look at him. Where's he going? I said stop! He's gone on a journey. Anyway, Ol finally arrived with his Raptor Rex and his bird, which I think was called Flyby, because, you know, he's a very, very nice bird, very nice owner as well. I found Crappy Flappy in a nearby bush, and after shouting it in and considering smacking him with a spear, I eventually just told him to follow me. Well, I didn't tell him to follow me immediately, because I am an idiot and couldn't figure out how to, and ran off after telling him to stop. And then I was starving again, so I had to go get more berries from the more bushes that Crappy Flappy was sitting in because he was 10 metres away. Yeah, it wasn't going very well. Eventually I figured out how to make him follow me and brought him back for the group photo. Also, I just noticed, where's Veronica? Has Veronica been eaten? Or it would show up in the chat, wouldn't it? I think Veronica's just gotten lost. Yeah, Veronica's done a davood. This isn't good at all. Anyway, I finally got Crappy Flappy to stop, and it wasn't the closest, but I didn't really care at this point. I couldn't be asked to move him again. So we took the photo from the hill, and it was all done and dusted.